Welcome back, everybody, to another Teen Titans review, recap, retrospective thingy. Let's go. This is Season 1, Episode 11, Car Trouble. This episode was written by Amy Wolfram and directed by Alex Soto. This episode actually originally aired as the finale for Season 1 for some reason. It's just kind of a regular old random episode, but for some reason it aired after the two-part Apprentice story, which we'll cover next week. I don't know. We're talking about it now because that's where it is on the DVD. Okay, so this episode, Cyborg builds a car, and now he has a car. That's the episode. This is a fairly disposable episode. So Cyborg designs this car. It's a super cool car. It's called like the T car or something. And it's using like his technology and stuff, so it's stylized to look kind of like him. He uses his own software in the car, and it's got like nitro boosters and oil slick and ion cannon and all those fancy gadgets. And Cyborg's super excited to try out this new car. The Titans have to go fight a bad guy who's called Overload. He's this like technology being. He's kind of basically like Upgrade from Ben 10. He can like control technology and stuff and has electricity related powers. That's it. That's all we really know about him. And he's like causing havoc at a Radio Shack or whatever. Cyborg is super excited to take the car out on this mission, but while they're fighting and apprehending this bad guy, these like 50s, 60s greasers steal Cyborg's car. Somehow they're able to do this even though it's like a super advanced vehicle. They're 50s or 60s greasers, so they know a thing or two about stealing cars. So now the plot is Cyborg's trying to get his car back. These greasers take his car to this like street racing place. They end up racing against Gizmo. Gizmo returns from the episode earlier that introduced him. So that's kind of fun. We get to see Gizmo again. A little world building continuity going on.
Too early, Don.
Gizmo is like, cool car, I'm gonna steal it, and so he does. So now Cyborg's after Gizmo. Eventually Raven gets involved and helps him to chase down Gizmo. But whoopsie doopsie, Cyborg's car crashes into this prisoner transfer truck that was carrying Overload. Is that his name? Yes, Overload. And now Overload is overloaded the Titans car. Oh no! And now Cyborg has to fight a car. It's the classic conflict of man versus car.
I guess that's another one for the cars. I mean, wouldn't the cars always win?
And he has to destroy his car, and he's sad about that. But then luckily, since the prisoner transfer truck is right there, they can just throw Overload and Gizmo and the 50s greasers into the back of the truck and send them off to jail. So problem solved. At the end of the episode, Raven helps Cyborg build a new car. And that's it. That's the episode. Not a whole lot to this one. Just kind of a fun romp with Cyborg and his new car. Once again, we're going into like teen-related storylines, right? And so to have an episode that's about your one friend who got a new car and is like really excited about it because he gets to drive you places, like that's a very teenage type story. So I get it. It makes sense. There's a moment I do really like in this episode between Cyborg and Raven where she's like, no, I get it. I get why you're upset about this because it's something you made, you created using your own like technology and your own hands and your own time. There's a part of you that's put into this thing that you made. And she relates it to the way that she uses her powers. When she like levitates stuff, she has to put like a part of herself into what she's affecting. So it sort of becomes a part of her in a way. And she's like, I get why this, inanimate object means so much to you. And I like that moment. We don't get a lot of Raven and Cyborg moments throughout the series, so it's kind of fun to see these two paired up in this episode. Because you wouldn't think they would necessarily have a lot in common, but I like that they find a way to make them relate in this episode, and it feels very natural and organic. But other than that, not a super deep episode. There's some fun car chase action going on with some oil slicks and smoke screens and all of those types of wacky car gadgets you would expect. But yeah, it's just sort of Cyborg gets a car, then he loses the car, then he makes a new car. That's the episode. A couple little things in this one. There's a reference to Metropolis in this one, which I think is interesting. When the 50s greasers steal Cyborg's car, he says something along the lines of like, they're probably halfway to Metropolis by now. That might be the only reference to Superman in the whole show. We do get, of course, a couple references to Batman and Gotham, and, because Robin is obviously related to that stuff, but barely anything in relation to Superman. And season 1 has a few more references of like other places in the DC universe that don't really come up in later seasons. We get our second booyah in this episode. Add that to the counter when Cyborg is chasing Gizmo in his new car. Gizmo activates this like ion cannon, and Cyborg gets so excited about it that he forgets for a second that it's being used against him.
Booyah! Check out my baby's proton cannon.
That's a pretty fun moment. This is definitely one of the episodes on rewatch that like you could skip over. It's not super duper significant. First appearance of Overload. He comes back a few more times. We also see Gizmo again, so that's kind of significant. Again, a character from earlier that comes back. He comes back many more times in the future as well. But this is kind of the start of that trend. This is one of the first times we've seen a villain from a previous episode return, outside of like Slade, who's like part of an overarching storyline. So some little world building stuff that's fun. The T-Car also appears in later episodes as well, though this is the one that it's most heavily featured in. So there's little things that come back, but it's not the most important episode in like the big picture overarching storyline of the whole show. That's about it. It's car trouble. Cyborg gets a car. That's the episode. Not a whole lot else to say about this one. What did you think? What's your favorite car? Leave a comment. I think that's gonna do it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please consider subscribing. Leave a like, leave a comment what your favorite car is. I don't know. Hit the bell for notifications. Find out when I'm uploading new videos. We're going to be back next week with the season 1 finale, Apprentice. So look forward to that. It's going to be a good one. A little while ago, we did a Nothing cast on Avatar, Way of Water. I don't know. Check that out if you want to. I think it's pretty fun. She-Hulk video coming soon. Anyways, I think that's it. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next week.